Welcome to First Down Punts, a show about the on-field and off-the-field news in the world of pro football, as well as how it relates to fantasy football all season long. Thanks for joining in, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And welcome in, everyone, to another episode of First Down Punts. I'm your host, Coach Chris. Today, we're going to be going over the NFC West schedule review and record predictions. We've already done the NFC North and the AFC North. Now we're moving out west. Before we get into that, a couple things to note going on in the NFL. Obviously, we talked about in the last video, but with the trade between Miami and Steelers going from Minkah Fitzpatrick going to Miami and Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith going to Pittsburgh, Miami is in need of a tight end. They end up making a deal with the Giants for Darren Waller, who was retired. He's going to come out of retirement. They trade Darren Waller, and I think it was like a fifth, or Darren Waller in a sixth for a fifth rounder or something like that. I'm pretty sure that's what the details were. But all the same, Darren Waller is going to come out of retirement. For fantasy, I don't know how much impact he's going to have. He could have a lot if he's still in good shape. Darren Waller was always a super talented kid, just couldn't put it all together at times. He had a couple of really good years out there with the Raiders, but got to the Giants and didn't do much. And an interview just came out like 2 weeks ago, talking about he just knew he was done, like week 4 or something like that in the season. So he just played out the season for his teammates or whatever. But the fact that he retired and now he's coming back, he's going to Miami. These are all kind of just moving chess pieces around, man. You're just moving stuff around the board. You don't know if you're going to win because of it or not. You're just kind of out there blindly moving stuff. Ramsey and Jonnu go to Pittsburgh. They lose Fitzpatrick. They already had Freiermuth, so that just kind of clogs up that for fantasy. With Darren Waller going to Miami, like I said, I don't know how much of an impact he'll have for fantasy. For one, is he in shape? I would love to see it if he got into the preseason. We kind of seen how they were going to use him. If they're going to use him similar to how they did Jonnu last year, great. Darren Waller might be valuable, but I'm definitely not ranking him in my top 20 or anything. He's going to be a late round guy that if he pops, great, but I'm not spending up expecting something from him right now. So other than that, guys, we're going to get into this. Like I said, the NFC West, which is the Rams, the Niners, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. This year they play the NFC South and AFC South. So they'll be heading down west or down south quite a bit. So, but we'll get into it. Week 1 versus Houston. This is a loss. I have them taking a loss in week 1 versus Houston. Like I said, Houston's going to be a real good team this year in my mind. They've been a playoff team for 2 years in a row. The Rams have as well, but a couple new pieces they're going to have to figure out. This is a game that's definitely a harder one to choose. I originally had it as a win, then I changed it to a loss just because, man, I like C.J. Stroud in that offense a lot. And if they can, the defense is excellent with Stingley and the Will Anderson kid, Danielle Hunter. They just got a lot of pieces that I like on that team. Jalen Petrie, he'll be back fully healthy this season. Just a lot of players that I like for Houston. I think they're going to be a good team. I can't wait to do the AFC South just to see what they end up finishing. But week 2 at Tennessee, I got them getting a win here. Cam Ward, like I said, I think they could start off a little rough as they work into it. He's a rookie. Most rookies don't come out winning every game. That's just a fact. So every now and again, you'll have a special one like Jaden Daniels, Andrew Luck, and I don't think Andrew Luck won a shit ton of games his rookie season, but he was good from the jump. And I like Cam Ward a lot. Like I said, I think he's baby Ben, but I think the Rams got a good enough team with their defense, with the Jared versus those type of players they got on defense. They can go to Tennessee and get a win real quick. Week 3 at Philly. The Rams had a chance to beat Philly in the playoffs. That's who they ended up losing to in the second round. Last year they went 10-7, got to the second round, lost to Philly. I think it was like 29-23 or something like that. I think it was within one score. And a couple of plays go different ways. The Rams could have been the ones going to the NFC Championship game playing the Commanders, and who knows what happened. But I got Philly beating them. I got them getting a win here. The Rams getting a loss. So they're 1-2 right now going into week 4 versus Indianapolis Colts. I got the Rams getting a win there. Not a lot of questions to me. Like I said, with the Colts, if I can't trust your quarterback, it's hard for me to predict a lot of wins. I trust Stafford as a quarterback. I think they're going to be a good team this year. I think they're going to be a playoff team. We're getting into that as we go through the schedule. But week 5 versus San Fran on Thursday Night Football, right after the Indy game, short week. San Fran's coming in ready. San Fran's going to get this win. I know a lot of people got San Fran falling apart this year. I'm not one of them. I think their depth over the last 4 years has been so impressive that even though they lose guys, they could still be very competitive. They just have to have their offensive pieces healthy. And the Niners are always going to be a good team with that Shanahan offense and the way they build their defense. Now Robert Saleh is back. Just a lot of things I like going on with the Niners. And the Rams and the Niners are two very similar teams. They're probably going to be fighting for the division. Week 6 at Baltimore. I love the Ravens, so I got them getting a loss here. The Rams lose, Ravens win. Week 7 versus Jacksonville. This is overseas, one of those overseas games. This is a W for the Rams. I don't think they're going to have an issue. They're probably going to go over there on Monday or Tuesday that week, get acclimated to the time zone. And the Rams are a better team than the Jags are. That's just all there is to it. Week 8's their bye week. This is a nice scheduled bye for a team that's got a lot of good pieces. Get some rest up here. Be ready to go into the home stretch. Week 9 versus the Saints. As I said, I don't think the Saints are going to be very good. So this is a win for the Rams. Week 10 at San Francisco. Now, San Fran won the first matchup. Rams win the second matchup. Neither one of them defend their home field, but hey, they both get a win against each other, so they're 1-1 in the division versus each other. Week 11 versus Seattle. Now, I've said what I've said about Seattle as far as I don't know how good they're going to be this year. I like Darnold. I like JSN, but I don't know if he's a true number one. It could be a juju situation. I'm not a big fan of that. But all the same, week 11 versus Seattle, that's a Rams win. Right now they are, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6-4. 6-4 going into a week 12 game, big game versus Tampa Bay. This is for playoff seeding and everything else. Thursday night football, or I'm sorry, not Thursday night football, Sunday night football. I'm a big fan of what the Bucs got going too, being that Rams are already coming off a game versus the Niners. They just won. It's probably one of them knockout, drag-out games. They've won 3 in a row now, even with the bye week slipped in there. This could be a game they just slip a little bit, don't have everything they need. Bucs get them a win. Rams take a loss. Week 13 at Carolina. Now, I actually think this is a game. If I would have had the Rams beat the Bucs, this probably would have been a loss for the Rams. Just a game where they underestimate the team. But being that they just lost to the Bucs in Week 12, they're not going to come in here asleep. They're going to be wake back up. They're trying to get playoff seeding. They're trying to get home field advantage. And against Carolina, I don't think Carolina is going to be able to do as much on offense against the Rams defense. So Week 14 at Arizona. This is a game I got the Cardinals winning. I think they slip one by the Rams here. Are they coming out of their bye? No, their bye. Those the Niners got a late bye. But I still think Cardinals can win this game. I think they have enough on offense to do that. I think they have a better defense than people think, especially the way they finished the season last year, the last 7 or 8 games. Their defense was ranked, I think, in the top 8, top 6, something like that. But Arizona's got a good team. They're just one of those teams that they're going to just falter this game and succeed the next game. This is one of those games I got the Cardinals succeeding, Rams faltering. Week 15 versus Detroit, I got the Rams getting a win. I don't think they're going to lose 2 in a row this late in the season. I don't think they'll be able to afford it. Detroit, the old Stafford connection, everything else, I think that's kind of done. But Stafford would still like to go to Detroit and get a win because he hasn't been able to do it the last couple times, one of which being in the playoffs. So I think Detroit could be asleep at the wheel maybe this week. They're coming off a tough game the week before, I believe. So I just got the Rams getting a win. I think they're both 2 really good teams that could compete this year for a possible championship run. Week 16 at Seattle on Thursday Night Football. I have this as a win right now. I considered giving them a loss just because of the tough game versus Arizona and then Detroit and a short week. I could end up switching this before the season starts, but right now I got them getting a win because they know they got to get some playoff seeding. They're trying to win the division. Week 17 at Atlanta on Monday Night Football. That's a loss for the Rams. The Falcons are a good team. This could be a playoff seeding preview here. If the Bucs are first in the division, Falcons are going to be a wild card team, and there's a good chance that they end up playing the Rams or whoever wins the NFC West, one of those situations at some point. So this could be a playoff preview 2 weeks before the season ends, and I just got the Falcons winning this one. I think with the youth they got on their team, they're going to probably be holding up better over the course of the season, And by this time, both these teams should be clicking, should be a fantasy gold mine in this game, but it's one that I got the Falcons taking. Week 18 versus Arizona. They dropped on Arizona a few weeks earlier. I got them winning this one to finish out the regular season with a W. So overall, Rams go 10-7. They match the same record as the year before, as 2024. They go 4-2 in the division, so that's great. Great to have a head start in the division if you already got a winning record in it. But overall, that's like I said, they went 10-7, and they'll be probably headed to the playoffs more than likely, depending on what happens with the rest of the NFC. San Francisco 49ers. Last year went 6-11. Their documented injury histories between Hufanga and Christian McCaffrey, Brandon Ayuk, handfuls of other players. They just had a rough go of it last year. And being healthy, getting there, like I said, they still have depth. They're a team that I think could definitely finish way better than what people are expecting. I think a lot of people are seeing the demise of the Niners, and I don't see the same thing. So week 1, they are at Seattle. Seattle's not going to be ready for a healthy Niners defense. I don't care what they think, and they're not going to be ready for a healthy Niners offense. Now, obviously, a bunch of injuries happening in the preseason. Everything is going to change everything. But this is based off what we know right now, who's healthy, who's not, all that good stuff. Seattle loses week 1. Niners get a win. Week 2 at the Saints. This is a W for the Niners. I don't think the Saints are going to be competing on the Niners level. The Niners sometimes drop one early in the season, but I just don't think this is the one that they do it to. So week 3 versus Arizona, that's a loss. This is the one they're going to drop early in the season that maybe they should, maybe they shouldn't. We'll find out how good Arizona is over the course of the season. But right now, I think Arizona could come out and catch them slipping after a quick 2-0 start for the Niners. Week 4 versus Jacksonville. This is a win for the Niners. I think the Jags are headed in the right direction. I don't know if they're to their destination yet. I think the Niners are a well-equipped veteran team that knows what to do in a game like this. Week 5 at the Rams, Thursday Night Football. Like I said, Rams lost, Niners win. It's that simple, guys. We already heard about it in the Rams thing. Week 6 at Tampa Bay. Told you, I think the Bucs are going to have a good season. And I think this is a loss for the Niners. So the Niners are what? 4-2 right now. Every couple wins, they got to get a loss, apparently. But week 7 versus Atlanta on Sunday Night Football. I got the Niners losing this one too. I think this is a game where Atlanta shows who they really are. Right now is like, building up to this. It's like, oh, man, how good is Atlanta? Are they pretenders, contenders, one of those things. I think Atlanta shows who they are in this game and gets a big win versus the Niners. Niners dropped to 4-3 and are on their way to Houston. At Houston, week 8, another loss. Another one of those teams that I think DeMeco Ryans knows what he's doing. He's former Niner coordinator. He knows how to attack those offenses. And with the defensive skill he has on that team with the Texans, I think they could go in there. And the Niners are known to have a 2 or 3 game losing streak in the middle of the season for no apparent reason. This is one of those times. So they've lost 3 in a row now, headed into week 9 game. Nothing better on this docket than at Giants. Playing the Giants coming off a 3-game losing schedule, or a 3-game losing streak, is definitely what you're looking for. And an easy win. They probably win this game 42-17 or something like that. Week 10, San Francisco is versus the Rams at home. This is a loss. And like you said in the Rams schedule, that both teams win on the road. Neither team defends their home. Week 11 at Arizona. This is a W. Same thing with the Rams. Same thing with the Cardinals. Win on the road, lose at home. Don't ask me why I had them picked this way. It's just how I felt what was going to happen. It's part of its timing of the games, part of its situation of the other team's current situation. Coming off a bye, coming off a 3-game losing streak, those types of things. You never know what's going to happen, but this is just how I got things going. Week 12 versus Carolina on Monday Night Football. I got this as a win. So they've won 2 in a row now. They're currently, 7-4, 7-5, 7-5, going into a game at Cleveland right before their bye week. They got one of those late bye weeks. At Cleveland, I got them getting a W. I think they can go into that cold. I don't think that'd be an issue for that. It might not be freezing right now, but it's definitely getting chilly in Cleveland. But I don't think the Niners have an issue with that. They're a tough-ass football team, and cold's not really going to bother them. They're the better team in this situation. I got them getting a win over Stefanski and the Browns. Week 14, like I said, the bye week, nice late break for a veteran team. You get this late, it's like a little mini bye week trying to lead into the playoffs. With the final schedule they got a nice easy finish to the schedule versus competition in my mind. Last 4 weeks are Tennessee, Indy, Chicago, Seattle. Versus Tennessee, I got them getting a win. Rookie quarterback versus that defense versus Saleh coming back as a DC. He's going to know how to attack that. Week 16 at Indy, Daniel Jones, Anthony Richardson, Riley Leonard. It doesn't matter at this point. This Monday night football game is going to be a big Niners win, and they've won 5 in a row now. Week 17 versus Chicago on Sunday night football. This was a tougher game for me to choose. I think this could be the closest game of the last 4. But at the end of the day, I gave the Niners the win over Chicago. I think the Sunday night football, they're on a big winning streak. I had the Bears going 8-9, trying to make the playoffs, but just don't have that extra edge over the top there to push them over the top. This is a game the Niners win as a veteran team. Week 18 versus Seattle, I got them losing this game. At this point, they were 10-6 coming into the game. Seattle's a tough out. This could have been an easy win. This could have been a game they should have won and might have lost, and it might have cost them the playoffs. But 11-6, it's a good chance they're winning the division, depending on what happens with the Cardinals and Seahawks. We'll get into that next. But overall, Niners finish 11-6, go 3-3 in the division, so 500 in the division. They did beat the Rams out for the lead right now. Rams go 10-7, Niners go 11-6. Let's go on to the Cardinals. Last year, Cardinals were 8-9, missed the playoffs. But like I spoke about that defense, I think the defense last year was really good towards the end of the season. I wish they would have got some more on offense. We'll see what happens with Benson. Their offensive line is solid, not top tier, and their defense got some good parts. They added who they signed? Josh. I think they signed Josh Sweat. Hassan Reddick went to the Bucks, and they signed Josh Sweat. So that's a good addition. Getting what was the rookie kid last year that got banged up? Darius Robinson. Darius Robinson back at defensive end should improve their defense going into the season. But I just with their schedule and what's going on, I don't know how good they're going to be. I think they're going to be one of those teams that's up and down. So we'll get into this, guys. At week 1 at New Orleans, the Saints. That's a win for the Cardinals. I think that's a game they can pull out. It wouldn't shock me if Tyler shocked the world and beat the Cardinals, just because the Cardinals have a tendency to start slow at times. But the best Kyler Murray is an early season Kyler Murray when he's healthy, when he's not banged around, getting beat up on a small frame. So early game versus the Saints, I got the Cardinals winning that. Week 2 versus the Carolina Panthers. This is, like I said, up and down. I think I got the Panthers getting a win here, man. I think the Panthers are going to have a good offense. I think they're still improving that defense, but it's a game where they could shock somebody. Bryce Young comes out, drops a couple bombs to McMillan, the rookie, maybe hits Leggett on the end around, some weird stuff like a Debo move. And with Chuba Hubbard in the backfield, I think Carolina is going to be able to score some points. I just don't know how many people are going to be able to stop. But in this situation, the limited offensive weapons on Arizona, they get a couple stops that they need, pull out a win. Week 3 at the Niners, Cardinals get a win, Niners get a loss. Like I just talked about in their schedule, neither team defends home. Week 4 versus Seattle, a quick turnaround on Thursday Night Football after a tough game against the Niners. I got the Seahawks getting a win here and the Cardinals taking a loss. So 2-2 after 4 games. That 500 record is right down the lane. Week 5 versus Tennessee, the rookies coming in to Arizona, coming out west. I got the Cardinals getting a win here, taking down Cam Ward and Ridley and all those guys. Week 6 at Indianapolis. This is one of those games that the Colts somehow pull out. Cardinals lose for some apparent reason. West team going east. It's only to the Midwest, so it's not all the way to East Coast, but still the time change and all that stuff gets them. It's one of those games where it's just like, oh, you didn't expect it. Every team drops a game that you don't think they're going to. This is that game. Week 7 versus Green Bay, I got another loss. So they lose 2 in a row here going into the bye. I just think the Packers are a little bit better team. And Cardinals got to figure some things out. The bye week's a perfect time to do that. Hopefully they can get it turned around. Other words, they may be looking for a new coach next year. Week 9, coming out of the bye at Dallas, 2 weeks to prepare and an extra day for Monday Night Football. And they still lose to the Cowboys. Cowboys come out, put up some points on the board, get a couple stops with Michael Parsons and that defense. just not ready to compete against some better teams. Week 10 at Seattle. This is another win for them. They lost the first one versus Seattle at home, so they can't defend home, but they went on the road a lot this year for them. Just something going on in the NFC West when I was looking through these games. What are we on? Week 11 here versus San Fran. This is the game at home that they lose. San Fran lost at home. Cardinals lose at home. Week 12 versus Jacksonville. I got them getting a win here. Got to put up some points on the board. They need to win if they're going to make the playoffs. It's the time to try to make that push. Can they do it? We don't know. Week 13 at Tampa Bay. That's a loss. I think going to the Bucks. Bucks are the better team overall. This is a game that they could win, but I got the Bucks pulling this one out. Week 14 versus the Rams. As we talked about with the Rams schedule, this is a win for Arizona, loss for the Rams. Week 15 at Houston. I told you guys, I think Houston's going to be good this year. I got the Cardinals losing this one at Houston down there in Texas. Week 16 versus Atlanta. Now, I think Atlanta's going to be a really good team, but every team drops one that they shouldn't. This is a game that they drop late in the season. Cardinals get a win. Give them little bit of hope left. Right now, they're currently 7-8, going into a game against Cincinnati. Cincinnati can just put up points, man. That's just barring if T. Higgins is missing, something happened to Burrow, something like that, or their defense is even worse than I expect, which I already think is going to be one of the bottom defenses in the league. I got the sense of just putting up too many points, man. I don't think Arizona can score with them. And at the end of the day, Cincy gets the win, Arizona gets the loss, puts them at 7-8. Or no, I'm sorry. Yeah, 7-9. 7-9 they are now after week 17. Playoffs are out of the picture now. Week 18, a game versus the Rams. Rams are trying to lock up the division, at least compete for it. Rams are coming in to win. Cardinals are packing it in for the season, and it's another loss. At the end of the day, I got the Cardinals finished 7-10. Should have probably been a little bit better than that, maybe 9-8. But there's just games that I just don't trust the Cardinals in. I think their division is still a tough division, and they end up 7-7, even though they go 3-3 in the division. Final team in the NFC West, the Seattle Seahawks. Obviously, some of these games we've already talked about, so I'll skip through them and get to the other ones. But last year they went 10-7, just missed the playoffs. I think they won their last game and still missed the playoffs, but maybe they lost their last game. I'd have to look back on that, but I'm pretty sure it was the last game that determined their playoff fate. But week 1 versus the 49ers, I got them taking a loss here. We already talked about it. At Pittsburgh, week 2, that's a loss to me too. I don't think Seattle's going to Sam Darnold and the Seahawks are going to travel east all the way to the East Coast. At Pittsburgh, hopefully Watt's playing. They get him figured out or they trade him. Maybe this game changes and the tune changes if they can't get Watt in the camp. That's all there is to it. Getting Ramsey helps, but losing Fitzpatrick doesn't. You know what I mean? It's, like I said, moving chess pieces around. But Watt's their most important player. They need to get in right now. So we'll see what happens with that. But right now I got Seahawks starting 0-2 after losses to the Niners in Pittsburgh. Week 3 versus the Saints. Saints are getting beat up on, man. Seahawks starting 0-2. They're going to be desperate here, and they're the better team in my mind. So they get the win there. Week 4 at Arizona, Thursday Night Football. They got the early season win versus the Cardinals. Get back to 2-2. They're at 500 now. Got a little hope. Week 5 at versus Tampa Bay. Told you I think the Bucs are going to be real good. Every team loses a game they shouldn't. This ain't the one. This is an easy Bucs win. Seahawks can't get the win at home. Bucs take it and head back out. Week 6 at Jacksonville. This is a loss. This is that game that the Seahawks shouldn't lose, but these are two teams that are still trying to figure things out, still trying to figure out if their offense is good enough, if their defense is good enough. Jacksonville gets a win. Seahawks take a loss. We're now 2-4. Week 7 versus Houston on Monday Night Football. I don't think there's a chance in hell that Houston Texans lose this game, barring another injury collapse season. So, and they made the playoffs last year with all the injuries they had. So I highly doubt that they're going to lose to the Seahawks on a Monday Night Football game. And they move into the bye with the Seahawks. The Seahawks move into the bye. Week 7 bye week, get a breather coming out. What's worse than nothing worse than coming out and playing the team to make it to the NFC Championship game last year, and that's at Washington on Sunday Night Football. So even with 2 weeks to prepare, I got the Seahawks taking a loss. I just think the Commanders are the better team. Week 10 versus Arizona. They won the first game versus Arizona. I got them taking a loss here against Arizona. Currently, we are 2-7 right now. Week 11 at the Rams, another loss. This is 6 straight losses for the Seahawks. They know the season's basically over. What happens down the rest of the season is now, does Jalen Milroe play? Is Darnold okay, but it's other issues, the offensive line, defense, whatever. They're trying to figure out what we got to start preparing for next season if we don't win some games. Week 12 at Tennessee. I got them getting a win here. I think Tennessee and Seattle are 2 teams that are similar like the rest of those. They're going to be competitive, but closing games out isn't easy in the NFL. And if you ain't got a big lead and able to hold it, there's a good chance that the better team is going to win. But right now, I got the Seahawks getting this win versus Tennessee. Just, hey, they made the extra plays here and there. Week 13 versus Minnesota. Minnesota could be competitive, and I got them getting a win here versus the Seahawks. They got to make sure they prove that letting Sam Darnold go was the right decision. That's all there is to it. Darnold, I'm sure, would love to get his revenge, but like I said, for all we know, Milroe's playing at this time. Week 14 at Atlanta. They're not going into Atlanta and winning. Atlanta's a really good team. They're going to, with those pass rushers they added, a couple the DB they added, going into Atlanta and winning is not going to be easy for any team this year, and I don't think the Seahawks are going to be a team that can do it. Week 15 versus the Colts. At home versus the Colts, this is a win for the Seahawks. I don't think the Colts are going to be able to go on the road and win many games, so they're going to have to get their wins at home. This is not at home. Colts lose, Seahawks win. Moving to Week 17 at Carolina. This is a win. I got the Seahawks getting a win here. They know they're desperate. They know they don't have much chance, but they'd like to finish with some pride. Go out to Carolina, get a win. This is definitely a game I could see them losing to, but I gave them a win on this one. Week 18 at San Fran, like we talked about with the Niners schedule. Niners probably got trying to wrap up a seeding, trying to wrap up the division. Seahawks are trying to play with some pride to finish the season. Seahawks get the win. San Fran gets the loss. Seahawks finish overall 6-11, but go 2-4 in the division, which is never going to cut it if you want to be a playoff contender. First thing you got to do is win your division. So overall, guys, I have the Niners winning the division at 11-6, finishing 3-3 in the division. Rams are second. They might make the playoffs. They might not, but they're 10-7, 4-2 in the division. Cardinals go 7-10 and 3-3 in the division. And the Seahawks finish 6-11, go 2-4 in the division, and could possibly be trying to figure out if they want to keep Darnold next year or start with Jalen Milroe and see what happens. But at the end of the day, I know the Niners make the playoffs. The Rams might make the playoffs. Cardinals and Seahawks, they don't have a chance. So what do you want me to do? What do you want me to say? This is what I think about what's going to happen. If you like it, if you don't like it, let me know. You know, I want interaction. I want you to comment. Tell me what you think. Other than that, guys, we're going to get out of here. I hope everyone's having a good afternoon, good evening, good morning, whatever time you're watching. Till next time, I'm out. First down, Punts!